Ed, are you Edwin or Edward?
We're on the air. I'm Ed. Edwin. We're on the air. Thank you. Andy Dickey, Jill Smiley.
Hello.
Isaac Dickey. Isaac, welcome.
Thank you. Good to
I'm
be
glad
on
to
here.
have you here.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
glad to be here.
folks, this kid has gotten big. I don't get to see a lot of your children. And I got to meet Isaac as you were a young man. What's this going on, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
How old are you
thereabouts,
now?
yeah.
How old are you now?
17.
Great day. Yeah. He was a child. You were campaigning, I think we're campaigning for Stephen then.
We were.
Stephen Reynolds. And, you know, kid was out there handing out paraphernalia. I mean, it's in his blood, man. I'm worried about this child. Let's get this thing on the air. We're running just a little bit late. No problem. Edwin Lee Raymer here with you. We've got some wonderful guests with us going to be telling us about what's going on and things that are happening right here in our community. But for right now, I am Edwin Lee Raymer. Yes, I'm still a private investigator, at least for now. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
All right, and this is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and thank you for listening, everyone. My name is Ed Raymer, your host, and right here, coming to you from WGNS is where this little broadcast is produced right here off the square. 100.5, 101.9, 1450 AM, right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You can reach us tonight with your questions, your comments, your ideas, your thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. You can also send us a text to that number. And Connor, who's on the board doing a good job for us as always, will be glad to read it for us over the air, or he'll give it to one of us. We'll be glad to read it. Now, my guest this evening, Jill Smiley. You see her if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook Live. She's on the right in the white shirt. You see Andy, and you see Isaac right here. He's in a pink shirt, good-looking young man. And then you see moi. And
Let's elaborate.
Thank you.
What a handsome
okay,
man.
thank you. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Legend in his own time.
Yeah.
We will be ending the show on that point, folks. Thank you all for
Good
tuning
night.
in.
Thank you.
That show I've ever had. Thank y'all. Seriously, you can listen to us on the air, on radio, the good old-fashioned radio, AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM. And you can find us, yes, on Facebook Live. You can find us on YouTube. You can download all of our shows that are there. Go to the Edwin Lee Raymer Show on YouTube. You can watch on News Radio. What is it? News Radio WGNS or something like that on YouTube, something like that, whatever. And get all the other programming. And I didn't, here on WGNS, I didn't get to see Angela. I got here late. I was sitting in line at the coffee place. And Andy sent me a note, and I sent him one back. I'll be there maybe. I don't know.
She hung around for you.
She hung around. Well, she always
She
prays for
gave
my
up.
guests, so y'all
Yeah,
have been
she gave up
blessed.
on
So I know she did. And you can download the WGNS app, take WGNS with you wherever you go, listen whenever you wish, and listen to Angela's show. Her and Angie Renee are doing a great job with simplicity. Jason Qualls does financial coaching through the week, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, doing a great job there. Been at it for a few years now. And many other programs. Mike Sparks is on at 5 o'clock here on Sundays. Haven't had a chance to talk to Mike lately, but I guess he's doing all right. And, many other folks that are on. So check us out. And, Angie and them are doing a great job with the folks they're helping. Now, my guests this evening are here. They were here just a few weeks ago. Andy Dickey, you have been in Washington, D.C. What kind of riot is going on up there, and how bad was it? Did you fight with the cops? You were arrested, no doubt.
Mayhem.
It's deader than a doornail. I can tell you that.
Why?
Who
wants to go?
Who wants to go when somebody's putting on a fake performance about crime and
I know.
I get full disclosure. I lived there a long time.
Sure.
Not with this boy to the right
Right.
of me, but with his brother and his mother, and it's an expensive place to live.
Sure
So
it is. Yeah.
20 years ago, we were paying $3,000 a month for rent, and then a further $500 for the cars, like to park them in the garage.
Man,
in the back.
yeah. That all adds up. Sure.
Yeah, so I think it's all bogus, to be honest. I mean, having lived there and visited there regularly, I mean, I'm there 5 or 6 times a year, maybe. What would you say, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
For business.
Sure. Right.
And in a normal time, there's 17 police agencies looking over the district in some
I know
form
we
or
were
fashion.
talking about this, folks. List some of these. You got CIA, FBI. Go on, and
District Police, Capitol Police, Park Police. Oh my goodness. Their version of the Highway Patrol, which does all the parkways, and
But it's full of badges and guns.
Yeah. So what happened was
Men and women. All of them.
So here's the reality of it. They started to gentrify the place about 25 years ago.
Okay.
Which means you push all the poor people out and all the rich people come in, right?
Right.
They pushed them all to Prince George's County, and shorthand for that in the area is PG County. They pushed them all down the Green Line, which they have a metro, a subway. They pushed them all down the Green Line, and then occasionally, some kids who were disadvantaged or whatever, looking for trouble, they'll come into the district and rob people.
Sure. Right.
But these were 15-year-old children.
Yes.
Robbing someone named Big Balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his official
He
name.
was
I mean,
19
that's his name.
years
I know.
old.
It is. That's
And
right.
it was
Yeah.
a 4-year difference. I was a high school teacher for a long time. So this is the equivalent of a freshman beating up a senior. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, that's true. And
Right.
I think
Okay.
anybody that would make a fuss about it is embarrassing themselves.
Yeah.
They're telling me I'm afraid to go out of my house. I'm so scared of everything. These are the type of people that cotton
You're
on.
saying it, my friend. To go,
You know the type. They're the people that
Exactly.
cotton on to these kind of things.
It's not
and
the reality, though. We're not living like that. They can live like that, but they're creating it for themselves with their own, ideas of what's happening out
Well, I'll
there.
tell you this. DC, one thing that I learned is that it's not the North and it's not the South. Even though it sits pretty much in the South, it's where everybody comes together. Nashville's a bit like that too, And if
Nashville itself is.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
born and
Yeah.
raised there. It's like that my whole life. The country people that live in the DC area, and I know a lot of them, they laughing their heads off about all this. Like, what in the world are we
Right.
letting happen? It's all for show.
Because you do have people that shop and work and live there.
And
they live.
They're
That's what
struggling
they-
because of
that's where they are.
tourism's not. First wave was the layoffs.
Right.
The second
Okay.
wave now is they're killing tourism. So, look, I say keep going.
This is part of the fascism playbook.
Yeah, you have to touch.
I think you're right.
Touch
Yeah.
the hot stove. I say to
I
all
want
of
them
them, go
to.
on and touch
Yeah.
the hot stove. You think it's one way? We're about to find out. Let's find out.
How
together.
do you feel? What about and Lee naturally has signed on with this thing, sending what
Yeah.
200.
One of the first 4 states,
Yeah,
I
one of the
think.
first 4 or
Where are
5
the
states.
pictures?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I'm an Army brat. You know this about me, Ed.
Yeah.
And we had all the parades and we had
Where's
all the
the
gatherings. Yeah, and all their yellow ribbons in the early 90s. I want to know where those are for these boys that they sent to DC.
Maybe we don't think that what they're doing is worthwhile.
That's why you
Well,
don't
I
see their
felt like
pictures on Facebook.
Senator
from their
Whitehouse
folks.
said on Lawrence O'Donnell's show, it would be great. Put them in the offices.
Uh-huh.
Let them shuffle some papers. Let them walk back and forth. Let them run errands. Deliver. You know what I'm saying? Be the go-to guys.
Yeah, tick
you
the
got
box.
free labor there. Take advantage of it. Don't get them off the street because, as I understand, doesn't the police department have power over those guys?
No.
Well,
No.
who does? Trump.
The Congress. Supposedly Congress. So
Well, they're
Congress
doing
runs
such
the
a
Who is
bang-up
impotent?
job.
Who's
Yeah.
impotent?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Congress is supposed to run the district, So they're supposed to run the district and they approve all the budgets.
Chuck
and,
Schumer said, "F word, no, not happening." But
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
that's as strong as we can get from the
Yeah.
Democratic
Right.
Party
Yeah.
right now.
Sure.
So I don't know. It just depends on what it all comes down to. Do you believe in freedom in practice or freedom on paper? I think a lot of
Sure.
people on the right believe in it on paper, but not in practice. And a
Not
lot
in
of
practice. No,
yeah.
not
I mean,
at all.
I grew up in Tennessee. It's the capital of live and let live.
We aren't romanticists,
Yeah.
Okay,
if it's
so
gone, it's gone.
well, the whole idea of what it takes to be free, or what it takes to be American, we know the realities of that. And I feel like these people it's playtime, Just
Yeah.
I want to speak to your
it's all for
son,
film
Isaac. I want to
videos.
ask you something. How old are you?
17.
You're senior now?
Yes, sir.
17. You are
Senior.
senior. Going to high school when I went. Now, believe it or not, they had high schools back then. I know you probably don't believe that, but I mean, it's got to be an entirely different experience. My nephew told me about it right up here several years ago now. The drills you carry out for active shooters in a school scene, where you have to run out and zigzag and hands on your head and all that stuff.
No.
No. That was at Blackman.
Did
That
this
was
happen?
at Blackman. That was at Blackman.
I did one of those in elementary school, yeah.
Sure.
What?
They're
I taught for
exercises.
12 years.
I mean,
and
they-
I've not heard about
They
this.
evacuated us and then
Sure.
took us across the street.
Right.
And, yeah.
I've
You
done
didn't know
some
about-
crazy stuff, but I never
I did
knew
not know about it
this.
either, but our children at that time were out of school, and
That's-
Tanner
I mean,
was telling me about it. I could
These
not
people
believe
in
it.
charge.
This was-
I know.
And see, this was maybe 5 years after Sandy Hook, and so
That's
everybody
great.
was still
That's wonderful.
still
What'd you get
freaking
from,
out.
What did you get from that?
Nothing.
Okay.
How does this affect you got friends in school, undoubtedly. How are things nowadays from a student's perspective? You're a sharp kid.
Everybody's immune to all of it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
So we're really the first generation that dealt with this from
Right.
K through 12. And so we're kind of getting to the point where, we're not taking it seriously, and I hate to say it's pointless, but in a way it is, because we had our first drill of the year a couple weeks ago, and everybody just sat up against the wall and was chuckling and laughing and pretending like they'd been shot and bleeding out. So, I mean,
Now, when you say you're not paying attention, you mean you're not paying attention to the President of the United States, or you're just not paying attention to the whole system? And I don't mean you're turning your back on it. I don't mean that in that sense. But you just think it's a waste of time. Some students do. Not you, obviously. You wouldn't be here tonight.
no.
And
I don't think it's a waste of time.
Sure.
But I can see why it's perceived that way.
I think it's weird that, first of all, Isaac goes to a top school,
Sure he does.
Central Magnet
right,
School,
Central Magnet.
top in
My
the
nephew
country.
graduated from there.
Top
Yeah.
3 or 4? What was
No,
it?
It's
it
top
just-
3 or
It
4.
was just
Three
ranked
in the
number
nation,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
in the
top.
nation.
Yeah, it is.
And in these schools, having taught as a teacher, whenever you do a drill of any sort over and over and over again, you desensitize the people to it. That's just
Right,
that's what
okay.
happens. So it's
I'll
just
agree with that,
that's a
Jill.
natural thing. And so, but he's very passionate, about guns in schools and school shootings.
Right.
So what is it when we're doing these things just to check these boxes? We're doing these drills, but
Yeah.
the kids that even are so passionate about it that they don't want to see this happen and they want to stop it are not taking it seriously. I'm not saying that there's a place to blame, but there's a lot of questions. We
Sure.
might not be doing things right.
Okay. Isaac?
I hate to say it, but I think the drills, when you compare what we're doing in the drills compared to the incidents that we've seen in real life, it just doesn't match up.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
Yeah, the classroom I was in a couple weeks ago when we did it, it was sit your back to the wall. Well, if you sit your back to the wall in the actual situation, you're probably getting shot. And I hate to be that blunt about it, but that's
More
just
than
a fact.
likely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
So it just makes you question, not completely what is the purpose of the drill, but really how effective is it?
Why are we just
Yeah.
checking boxes
Exactly, that's
and
what
not
it is.
making moves that really save lives?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what the kids are frustrated with. And I taught during these times too, where we all get holed up in a classroom and we talk about, I'm going to take this stapler and I'm going to take these scissors and I'm going to do this and do that. And it's not a fun conversation. And we have to do
No,
it,
it's not.
We have to do
It's
it
not.
once a month, really.
Sure.
And
Right.
so this is education today in America. And it's because let's look at the difference between our country and the rest of the countries in the world.
Exactly.
Look at that and tell me what it is. I won't even say what it is.
Sure.
How
How long have you been out of the game now, Jill? I mean, you were teaching.
I taught for 12 years and I left in 2021.
Okay. So about
less
4
than-
years.
yeah.
So less than 5 years.
Yeah.
But it evolves. It changes every day.
Yeah, you have to, it's very lively with the culture of what students are going through. And I mean, they are on the front edge of everything cultural and new technology and new social media. So you have to be very involved and listening. And it's what they're bringing is not quite, I don't know what our fears are.
Sure.
With with what's happening. We need to really be afraid of how much these kids are spending time on their phones, on computers, and we can't really parent them.
Right. Isaac, are you
know,
allowed to have a phone in
influence.
school?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Well, that's
Not
not,
at all.
that's qualified.
Well,
So he
You
goes
keep it
to
in your locker?
Well, no, he goes to Central Magnet School, and they are enforcing the district policy relentlessly. But that's
Okay.
not the case throughout Rutherford County.
Is that right?
Well, we
I
have.
thought it had to be uniform throughout the county.
It's supposed to be, but we have 5 children. See, that's the little catch. You can catch little things like that
Yeah.
when we've got a child at University of Tennessee, Blackman High School, Central, and 2 at Blackman Elementary School. And
Okay.
at Blackman High, and I love the school. That's why we bought the house where we did.
Sure.
There are some teachers that are much more lax, and we were hoping they'd be tougher on the phone policy.
The problem is it shouldn't come down to the teachers.
I agree.
It should, and I, as a teacher in
Right,
the classroom for
yeah.
12 years, we got enough on our plates.
Right.
We have to teach
Now, what type of weapon did you carry in school, Jim?
books,
Okay.
and
yeah,
pencils,
yeah.
and pens. So
You know,
that's
it's
what
like-
I'd like to stick to.
I had, as you know, Frank and Carrie Lambert, they're with the libraries. I've had them on, and Frank teaches at MTSU. And I played a tape of Keith Richards. He was interviewed at the New York Public Library. This is some years ago, a few years back. And he was talking about how over in Great Britain, during wartime, you had the library that was built basically first, and then the town grew up around it. And he said, and there was a reason for that. He said, we're not keeping all these books for nothing,
Yeah, it's the records of who we are.
And does the Rutherford County Library have any, or Library of Congress? Because I wonder what books they'd like to ban there.
Yeah.
Or better yet, let's go to the Vatican.
Yeah.
You want to
Well,
ban some of their books. Because at my last recollection, they were the largest collector of pornographic materials in the world.
The Vatican's really
Yes.
very progressive in how, and just how a lot of things. It's so funny that we're doing what we're doing
I
when
know.
they understand
Yeah.
things
She made
better.
this a point at home the other day that the Vatican's more progressive with their book policy than Rutherford County School Board.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
really is.
well.
I'd love it if Caleb Tibble would call in and talk about that.
Caleb's not going. No, I don't think we have to worry about any of the Republicans calling in here. Jill Smiley's my guest, along with Isaac Dickey and his daddy Andy Dickey. Unfortunately, they drug him along, and friends, all glad to have them here. We're going to go to our first break if we can. We call her. We'll be right with you when we get back. Ed Raymer, stay with us. Back with you after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219, or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, and we are back, and we have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead. You are on live. Go ahead.
Mr. Raymer, Jeff. How you
Well, hello, Jeff. How are you
Yes.
doing?
Pretty good. I just want to say, you guys were talking about the different stuff. I know the cell phone thing was supposed to be a statewide ban, but what I've read is that kids are taking an extra phone to school and then getting around it. That's what I've heard. They're taking two phones, still have one during the day. It's supposed to be like put up, during the day, and then after school's over, they can get it after school day. But every county had to have their own. Every county system had to have their own policy. Is what it basically.
Okay.
They say they're getting around it now by bringing some kids, not everybody, but we're bringing two phones to school and using one or something. I don't know.
Getting around it by taking two phones.
They don't have to even do that.
No.
I hear you. They're getting around it, Jeff, by just bringing their phone to school and not having a zero tolerance policy. Let's pretend it's a gun. You're allowed to have your gun when lessons are over and between school bells and it's just.
Yeah, I understand. I don't believe. I understand.
It's
Yeah,
but it's a lot
but
to police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Well,
you're right. Like they have ways around it, but they don't need a second phone.
They don't.
Yeah,
They can do it
Yeah,
with one.
I mean, that's what I read. But I was going to say, you talking about that there was a guy had a they caught him with one, not here, but one of the high school football games. Friday night they caught him with the gun. He said he was going to shoot some players. That ball game they caught him with, was they read.
Oh yeah.
You have got to be going.
That's
Oh,
horrible.
God.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
we-
sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
this
gonna
gun
shoot-
thing
I'm-
is
I'm gonna
weird.
shoot some-
Sounds
I wanna
like
shoot
we
some
got too
players
many
at the ball
guns.
game now. We're going to shoot some players over here at the game's over with, saying, so they was on the news this weekend, said he had a Frank game, football game for whatever county it was. I forget what county it was.
Well, everybody knows what my position is. I've owned guns. We have guns, but I've seen so much of it. I'm just about ashamed to say I even own a gun anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I was
it's
gonna say,
ridiculous.
Why? You mean you own a hammer,
It's-
right?
Yeah, but it's ridiculous. I
like,
mean, it's
this
got
is my
ridiculous.
giveaway with all
know.
this stuff is that. So I'm born and raised in the South by some really
Sure.
country people.
Sure.
We viewed it as a tool.
That's what
so
you did.
all these guys
Sure.
that are doing all this collecting and getting excited, it
It's
makes
like getting
me.
excited about your hammer and
Yeah, I got a brand new hammer and some nails, and I'm
Let's
just gonna.
start-
Let's go build a barn.
Who's getting shovel and hammer
You know,
tattoos?
like, and I mean it,
These
Ed.
friggin' weirdos.
Well, I do have a hammer and sickle
Yeah.
tattoo. Does that mean
Well,
but-
that's a whole other conversation, Ed.
That's a whole other.
You're gonna get run out of town now.
But
Jeff-
it's just such a for me growing up, just probably like Jeff and like you, it was just a,
Yeah, well, yeah, I know.
basic tool of life.
Oh Lord! Like I said, when I was
Why
in
are we-
school in the '70s, you walked out after school. We had gun racks in the back of the
That
trucks,
was even in the 90s.
and the guys
Yeah.
had a rifle hanging
That
there.
was
Our
the
kids
90s.
did.
Yeah,
mean-
and nobody talked about it. It didn't make you cool, or it
Yeah,
was
it was
a
just-
fact of life.
It was just the way it was.
Yeah,
Having
you
a
know.
tire iron.
Yeah, now all of a sudden we're fighting for our Second Amendment rights, and we're getting all excited, and you're so cool. I really like your pink AR-15, and like when did this all happen?
Well, we got to be careful. Hillary will want to take all those away.
I was a man
But
before
I
all
was gonna
this,
tell
and
you
I'll
what
be
I
a
was
man
gonna tell you
after
is-
it.
But I was going to tell you, talking about the book library stuff. A couple weeks ago, I was reading the newspaper or online too. That the Sumter County Library Board met. Okay, they had a meeting. Annual month, however often they meet. All right, they were going to take out books with like this. You talked all that they were going to take books with LGBTQ and
Sure, yeah.
So they were going to take them out, and they voted.
Yeah.
The vote. You know what the vote was?
Yeah.
It was 4-3 to keep them in.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Keep them in. And the reason why they said is because we don't want no lawsuit. And the director of the library board, they said, "Ash, you talk to the attorney?" He said, "Yeah, he didn't really. I guess he didn't have much responsibility." And she said, "Well, we're basically responsible in charge of what goes to the library, and they voted to keep them in instead of taking them out."
It's a
They didn't want
First
no
Amendment
lawsuit. They
right.
didn't want no
Yeah.
lawsuit.
It's the First
They didn't want no
Amendment.
lawsuits, but they didn't want no somebody always ACLU like replicate. They didn't want them coming down suing them.
That's right.
Suing them for the First Amendment right violation.
Well, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
basic, really.
Yeah, so they was for they voted to keep them in and everything. So that was kind of interesting. I thought to vote to keep them in instead of taking them. I thought normally it's always just take them out and be done with it and all that kind of
Jeff, thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
No problem. Take care. And I know DC's rough, y'all. I've been in
It's not rough. It's not rough.
No man, they're
We're telling
rich
you
as
it's
they're
not.
rich as all get out, dude.
Talk to us.
Next is gonna be Chicago. Next is probably
We just
Hey,
got
I'll
back
meet
from
you in
there.
Chicago. Let's go on a vacation. We'll have
We've got to
fun.
get rid of every Democrat first. Now that's what Trump's got.
We'll go have so much
Democrat in
fun.
America, so
We'll
you can start
hug.
with me and Ed, I guess.
I'll buy you
Talk
a
to the
Chicago
gay
dog.
people.
Thank you, Jeff.
Chicago dogs and pizzas, y'all. Hang in there.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank
We
you, Jeff.
appreciate it. Go to Philly and get a good cheesesteak. Thank you, Jeff Neal, for calling. I appreciate that. Okay. How many guns, Isaac, do you own?
Myself, 0.
Yourself, 0.
But I've seen their dad because they wanted to know, and he
Sure.
showed them how to handle them and what they look like.
There's always
and
a
all the
nat
things.
with boys, especially. There's a natural curiosity.
And then you
know.
also take them
Right.
to a shooting range. You teach them how to do
You
it.
want to be safe,
Yeah.
Sure,
tool.
sure.
especially if they come in contact with it. It's just the same
Obviously.
thing with
If I were to
Yeah,
give my kid a
yeah.
chainsaw, I'd tell him how to use
Yeah,
it.
you read my mind. I was gonna say if I tell them to go use a chop saw, I better give them a tutorial.
Yeah,
you know
it'd
what
probably
I mean?
be a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I think so. Sure.
So that's the
Yeah.
way our family views it. It's a tool. Anybody that gets super excited about it, it's probably a weirdo.
But it is
you
a
know?
tool to
Yeah,
kill people.
more than likely.
It is
And it's a tool to kill people. That's what it's
Chainsaws
That it
aren't
is,
designed
that
to
it
kill
is,
people. All
Yeah.
these things. So it's the
Sure.
it's a very important tool.
Yeah, kids don't believe what you see in the movies.
Yeah.
It's not, and I said this, and I'm going to say we're going to move on to something else. I pulled a gun on a young man once. And about a week or 10 days after that, I quit carrying a gun.
Yeah.
Until you have actually pulled a gun on another human being. And I could have possibly something tragic could have happened, all because I thought I was right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
You don't want to take a
No,
life unless
I'm
you
not.
have to, right?
I'm not going to put
Yeah.
myself in prison and take another person's life over principle. Okay, I'm just not going to do it.
Or property.
Yeah, I'm not going to do.
Me
Well, no,
anyway.
now wait a minute, over
I'm
property.
I'm not gonna do it over property.
No.
I won't kill someone over property.
No.
Take
I don't want
take my
that.
shit.
But you know what I'm saying. I didn't. I don't. And I did. And then I went back to carrying a small piece for a few years, and it
Yeah.
got heavy, and you have to keep up with it and keep up. You should. You got to know where it is every single second. And if I went in the courthouse, I had to lock it in the glove
Well,
box.
if you live
I
in my
locked it.
neighborhood, I'll call
That
it
is,
out. I'll tell it right now, Ed. I live in Berkshire and Blackman on the west side, and a huge portion of the guns on the street right now in the hands of criminals come from that neighborhood.
Unlocked cars.
My neighbors leaving
Oh, yeah.
loaded weapons and unlocked cars. Is
That's
just,
the craziest thing I've
and
ever
then
seen in my life.
Yeah, I got crucified.
And they're from
for
California, by the way.
Yeah, most of them are from California and Indiana and Alabama and
Mm-hmm.
places other than Tennessee. And they're just leave them in an unlocked car, and then they're
because they did that out in California.
Yeah, because they did it in California, and they come on the neighborhood Facebook page crying, saying, "Oh, somebody broke into my car." I'm like, "Well, where I come from, when somebody breaks into your car, there's broken glass,
Yeah.
Right. No, they
You
just
know?
open the door.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
lift the door open, and then there it is, everything, the iPhone, the weapons, everything. So, people want the bang to fit everything and not be heavy. They want to do whatever they want and not have to deal with any of the consequences, and that's where we are with guns. I want my guns. And
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I want my guns. I don't care what happens to anyone else but me.
Had a friend that posted this, and I want to go over this. And Andy, we were talking about this before we came in. Middle Tennessee Lake Rutherford County Sheriff's Department seeks to sign what is called a 287 parenthesis G ICE contract to enforce federal immigration laws. Tennessee Highway Patrol already has signed one. Public Safety Committee meeting is tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. They're not going to advertise that very loudly.
No.
Monday, tomorrow, the 25th, the Rutherford County Courthouse, second floor. To sign up for public comments, call public comment on the sheriff's report, 898-7745, obviously 615, area code 898-7745. Please show up even if you do not sign up to speak. They were on the MTSU campus, I think Saturday. 11 unmarked Murfreesboro Police Department cars, 8 stops. All persons pulled over were people of color. Can't speak to them all, but 2 were pretextual stops. Made up excuses to ask for immigration status. Kids, don't get your tan too dark.
And don't feel like you need to stand up and do something about it. Like, white people need to stand up for this stuff. This is
agree.
This is not a brown people.
No, it's ridiculous.
No,
Oh,
they
we're next.
need to say what they, do what you need to do to get out of that situation. And this is not your fight. You guys have done enough.
I know.
You've done enough.
Like, let's be real about what happened with Abrego Garcia. I mean, so I grew up in Woodbine on the south side of Nashville.
Okay,
and
right.
that's where he was housed in the Davidson County Jail.
Right.
They're
okay.
on the border between Woodbine and Antioch.
Your feelings on him?
Well, I'll tell you. Like, basically,
he's a bus driver.
He was a bus driver. So when the way the system works is a coyote brings you to the border, you pay a certain amount of money for that, and
Okay.
then somebody takes you where you got to go in the United States.
Right.
That person that takes you where you got to go, that was Abrego Garcia. So
Okay.
he was a bus driver.
He was a bus
so people
driver.
say, oh, they're committing all these crimes. Well, guess what? Everybody in the van that he was driving is guilty of an administrative violation. Now, you can say
Right.
you hate immigrants and you want to, illegal immigrants, blah, 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 blah.
You can be a bad person and say all those things.
Yeah, you can say all those things, but in the end, the law says that's just an administrative violation. So what they did to that guy, sent him to CCOT in El Salvador.
Sure.
Bad.
They did that to a person who was a bus driver for a bunch of administrative violators. If you care about the law, that's what the law says.
We're a nation of laws, right?
Right. Yeah.
Supposed to be.
We're
Used to
supposed to be. So that's what we did. So this fact that it's happening here in Murfreesboro doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
And, on the one hand, I want to feel really bad. Guys, spent my whole life in the construction business,
Right.
Like, these are my brothers. I mean, I've slept on the floor with them on the road pouring concrete. But at the same time, if we go into St. Rose of Lima here in Murfreesboro and ask all of them how they vote, that's a different story. They voted for this, and now they're wondering why it's happened. The ones who can vote and legally vote,
This is the problem we're having.
this is the problem we're having. They asked for this because they voted for the guy.
I'm glad you got Isaac here. Isaac, do any of your students ever mention this in school?
Yes.
What are their feelings? Yeah or nay, if I might ask.
I would say I would say it's pretty 50-50 in my school, and I would say that 50% really want the Mexicans gone, and that 50%, think we should be a little more graceful. But what I would tell the 50% that wants all the Latinos gone, everybody always wants to blame them.
Sure.
But how about some members of Congress propose a law that if any business owner is caught knowingly bringing illegal immigrants into this country for cheaper labor,
Agreed.
that they serve federal prison time.
Here, here, here,
Yeah.
here.
Like certain
Maybe-
mayors of certain cities.
Maybe there's a
who are
lot
builders.
of white people
Right.
with lots
Yep.
of
Yeah, there's
money
a lot of white people
Right.
with money in this
that
town
are
that are
not
employing
dealing
these
with
people.
any of the
Sure.
negative fallout
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Hey, Isaac for mayor.
I have a feeling that a lot of this would kind of take care of itself.
Yeah.
So
I hear in California, and we were talking about California, we were talking about Gavin Newsom before we come on, But there are people in the southern part of the state that they cross the border in the morning, they go work, they're not citizens, and they've done this now for years. And they go work in a farm, wherever it may be, in California. And then in the evening, after when they get off, they go back home across the border.
Yeah, we have a visa program for just that.
I don't know if they've even got visas. Some of them.
No, they do.
Do they? You know.
Yeah, we have.
And then we have
legal
people from the state of California, where it may, and they cross the border to go work in,
This is
some
what's
area,
fun-
and
this is
then
what's
in the
funny,
evening
Ed.
they come back on. I don't get what is the problem.
The problem is racism. I mean,
Yeah, what's
honestly,
the problem?
like that's
yeah,
really the real problem,
sure.
and people throw that around, but it's true. So the first entity to ever bring Latinos into Middle Tennessee, aside from horse people in Shelbyville, I'm talking about Nashville.
I know
in the
right.
city.
Yeah, sure.
Gaylord, Opryland, the Grand Ole Opry, all
Right.
they're the ones that brought them in. And now all of a sudden it's, and that is a, staunchly conservative organization as a corporation.
Oh, yes,
So we're going to
yeah.
we're going to have convenient memory loss that we did this and now this
Yeah,
has happened
sure.
and we're going to pretend like it didn't happen because it's not fashionable anymore. But that's a cornerstone of fascism. They do what's fashionable.
They're
If
populist.
God,
it's very
you know,
if the
I've
dear
got
leader,
to
if the
tell
dear
you-
leader says it's okay, then it's okay. If tomorrow he says it's not okay, it's not okay.
We
and
go
it-
by what he says.
yeah, we go by what he says.
I have no
you know,
principles.
I told you all a while ago, and I'm serious, and I swear to you, I swear to the goodness, I don't try to put myself on any type pedestal. Never have, never will, don't want to. But our son runs a daycare, and he has for many years. And when I saw that one of his workers was carrying, and this is a good fella, was carrying his identification, his passport, his visa, whatever it was, with him, kept it in the glove box of our son's truck, just in case. This is 2 or 3 years ago, before this mess with Trump came back, to be properly identified. I was embarrassed. My heart sank. I know
Yeah.
now what that's saying. What was it? Oh, my heart sank. I thought, yeah, sure did. No, it did. My heart sank. I thought, man.
But with this
you don't have to have
administration,
identification
my
come to my
heart
house.
sinks all the time. Like I can't even pin it on one thing. Like
Yeah.
it's just this administration. I'm constantly sinking. Like it's just. It's
I
just.
just
Yeah,
want the
I don't know if
rules
there's
to-
a bottom.
I want
There
the rules
isn't.
to apply to everyone,
Yeah. It's
and I
called
want them to be retroactive.
fair and even,
And if that's
equal.
the case, maybe a couple of his spouses don't make the cut.
Yeah,
like
you know what?
just
If
make it-
immigrants are bad, then let's look at Donald Trump and who he brought into this country personally.
Well, all of his wives, two of the three
Yeah.
are
except for
immigrants.
one.
Yeah, she
Except
came
for
on
one.
Einstein. Are you kidding me? Does that woman look like a brilliant? No,
Well,
she was a pornographer, like model. She modeled with her finger in places.
in the nude,
Yeah.
like in the nude all the time.
You know.
So-
I saw the film.
But she's
you know,
Einstein.
But but
She's
the
Einstein.
I'm not lying to you. No, I'm
I'm with you.
I saw it.
But
No,
the bus,
you know.
but
That's
the bus
the best.
driver, we're gonna kick the bus driver
yeah.
out.
We're gonna kick out the people
the
that really
concrete-
do
the
keep
concrete finisher.
That keep the whole point of immigration is to keep the wheel in motion. We've got a country that has to run, and so you have a number of people that you got to make that work. And if you're kicking them all out, that's not going to run anymore.
Right.
That's where we are. So go ahead. I mean, but at the same time,
I
I'm
say
with,
do it.
But I'm also like, I think this is not our top priority because a lot of those immigrants and their families
Yes.
and their supporters voted for this.
Yeah.
I know.
A
Yeah, and
lot
you're
of-
exactly
I don't-
right.
I
They
know
love
for
him.
her- for exactly
they
what she
need to-
said.
The
they
very
need to
people
feel
he'll
it.
have on
They
a
have to-
plane going home are the people that voted for him.
Anybody who needs to touch the hot stove and feel how hard it hurts, I'm all for it.
Good. Okay.
Like during the first Trump administration,
Yeah.
one of the biggest supporters in this state of Donald Trump was the county mayor of Wayne County, and the things you would read that he would say and all these things,
Yeah.
pro Trump this or that. Then you find out the guy's Filipino. Like, if he has some ill effects, like he's a Filipino American and he's touting all this, like, good. Whatever happen in that case, just whatever happens then.
Who elected this guy?
Yeah, the citizens of Wayne County. Yeah, like I
How
mean,
does that Kennedy
Okay,
senator
folks,
do?
look, I
Yeah.
got to go get a glass of water.
We got a
Jim,
lot to work on.
Jim, I see your text. I'm going to talk to you later, okay? Don't worry, buddy. We got somebody listening. And he's texting me personally. I know, Hey, let's go to our last break, Connor, if we could. The Dickey family is here, and they're not happy with each other or the way that things are going on. Yeah, we may need an attorney to call in before this is over. Isaac, stick with me, son. Be safe here. They're all here. Andy Dickey, his wife Jill Smiley. Isaac, you're here. Thank you all. Connor's on the board. I'm Ed Raymer. Back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back, and we have about 10 minutes left. Jill, read what did you just read on the phone? We're back to phones again in school.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I taught for 12 years in high school classrooms, and it was a big issue growing.
Sure.
Since 2000, when I started teaching in 2007, 2006.
Right.
And I was a believer in kids need to learn how to, self-police themselves with phones.
Sure.
Well, here we are today where we have a Tennessee ban on
Okay.
phones in instructional time. And it was supposed to be a big overhaul in a lot of school districts. But what I really believe is it's just bringing the bottom up. And it's still allowing for a lot of play between schools. Isaac's school has different policies than my son's school. And it's allowing for
okay.
a lot of discrepancy, and it's going to affect education between the schools.
Isaac, I'm going to turn it over to you. This is your have you ever been on live radio before?
I've not. This is my first time. So
Oh, you talking about throwing a poor kid in a deep end of the pool. How do you feel about this? And how do some of your fellow students? What's the issue? Do y'all care? Really? Do you care?
yes. So,
Okay.
So, we've gone from last year, basically, there's no policy on phones, to this year. They've got to be away at all times during class, and there's no, kind of separation or differentiation from that. And so I actually went and talked to the school board about this last week.
Right.
Because
Okay.
the law kind of says one thing, and Rutherford County policy says a very similar thing. It's almost as if whoever wrote the Rutherford County policy just took the state law and kind of moved some words around. But what's interesting is they're now enforcing things that are not in the state law or in the county policies. So what I mean by that is the state law and the county policy both say that there are to be no phones used during instructional time, which
Okay.
we could start a whole other debate about what instructional time really is as defined by the state law.
I'm sure Jill could comment on it. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
so we could have that debate, but so that's what the law and what the county policy says.
Okay.
That no two-way communication devices. That's what it says. And it does have some exceptions. It's unless in case of emergency, in the event of a student having an IEP or a 504. So basically them having a special exemption due to a medical
Sure.
condition.
Right. Okay.
Or for educational purpose. But what we're seeing is that really that whole for educational purpose thing is not really turning out to be the case.
Right.
And on top of that, they've also banned the use of headphones completely. And so what we're seeing now is that there are a lot of resources that the county pays a lot of money for.
Sure.
I mean, our personal finance courses are run almost completely off of videos. And so now that they've banned headphones, students have been relinquished to basically reading the subtitles, which I don't think is maximizing learning. And, we could say that about a few other
Okay.
things.
All right.
And there's an online hall pass system that we have to use. And many teachers are not using that right now because...
How do you use that if you're not allowed to use your phone?
Exactly. It makes it wholly inconvenient. And not every student even has a laptop right now.
It sounds like a lot of confusion.
It is.
Yeah.
This
And
is some growing pains or something.
Yeah, from the new policy.
I talked to Mr. Tidwell after the board meeting
Yeah.
From the
last
school,
week.
from
and-
the school board, for those who don't know.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, he's on the school board.
And, one thing I kind of noticed was it doesn't really seem that the director and the school board and, maybe the administrators at school are even on the same page about it all.
Yeah. So what do you think? Hey, what do you think the downsides of using your phone? Do you think there are any downsides to using your phone at school? Like, why do we have the? Why
Yeah.
do you think we have this policy to begin with?
So 100%.
As a state,
So,
it's a statewide thing.
yes. So let me just say this. I think that overall the banning of cell phones is a positive thing. I think
Why do you feel it's a positive thing?
student-to-student interaction has been at an all-time high. Student interaction in class has been at I'm talking post-COVID levels, has been at an all-time high.
No, you'll note, Ed, he's getting excited about humans talking to other humans.
He
I know
was so. I know this is weird, but the first week of because he was upset, and worried about it, like my son was too. The school
Yeah.
ban for the phones,
Right.
But he'd come home and he'd be like, and he was like on cloud nine because they're talking all day and they're they're doing the things that we used to do when we were in school.
That is why, and I'm telling you right now, and young man, let me say this to you. It is the reason people have approached me. Why don't you do your show from home? Why don't you just do a podcast? Why don't you? No, I like being here.
Human interaction
in a
is
face-to-face interaction. You will never beat it.
Yeah, we know.
Okay,
When we
you won't.
walk into this is a historical place. We walk in here, we know what we're about to
We
get
hate
up
that
to.
it's going to
Yeah,
get torn
you know
down.
this is live. There's going to be a record
Elvis
of this.
Was here,
Yeah.
man.
There's going to be a record of this.
Yeah.
And face-to-face interaction. A lot of people, we've seen people in restaurants, a family of four one night. My wife, I've told the story 1,000 times, and they're sitting there, and I looked at my wife, and I said,
Well,
wonder
Ed,
if they ever talk to each other.
I
anymore.
started a Facebook parent group for the high school.
Sure.
Okay, real quick, and I asked about the cell phones, what they thought about it. I was surprised how many of them support their children having cell phones in school.
It was
Okay.
shocking, and the reason why is because they also have this addiction.
That's why.
And that's
Yeah, right,
what it is.
yeah.
Like, it's been studied, and we all pretend like it's not happening.
That's why they're supporting
So
it.
if you
TikTok.
yeah, so if you
mean
do
Just
the
really
work,
just having the phone.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
having the phone.
Isaac just looked at me. TikTok. The TikTokers or something.
I think that's dying off.
I'm not on it.
I think it's dying off. I think it's
I'm not
really
either.
just it's become an extension of ourselves.
yeah, but I'll tell you, if you and we talked about this on the last show we were on, if you have a beer with any of these people from Silicon Valley, like the movers and shakers, like I do, they don't let their kids use it because
They
they know
don't.
it's an addiction. And what it does is it generates dopamine in your brain, just like a drug.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then that's why the kids feel exhausted when they get it taken away or exasperated, that kind of thing. It's a drug.
Which,
and I'm
again-
glad the state's banning it.
To elaborate on that, you have had beers with people from Silicon Valley because of your job, and this is what they say.
Yeah, they don't let their kids, to
They
underline
don't
the
let
point.
their kids do it.
They don't
No.
let their
Okay.
kids do it.
We've got a caller on the line.
Okay.
Caller, go ahead, please. Sorry to have you holding so long. Go ahead.
Ed, I hate to interrupt you. I've enjoyed this conversation immensely.
Okay.
Mark Riddle.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
The other day, yeah. How you doing? I'm fine. I listen almost every week. Don't always call in because I hate to interrupt you.
No, I appreciate it. Go right ahead.
I want to say one thing. What sum it all up for me, what we've lost is common sense. Everything has to be a black and white rule. There's no judgment anymore. You can't just say what makes sense. It's got to be defined, and you can't vary from it, and I think that's sad.
I think it says, that's pretty good. How do you feel about face-to-face interaction? I came by your office.
I love it. I grew
Yeah.
up with it. I'm 70 years old. I didn't know anything about cell phones till, the last few years. People have to remind me, hey, you can just take a picture of that and text it to me. I go, oh, yeah.
And we got these people living in the same world together. you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to live together.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I love that stuff. So I'm just saying, every now and then, some special situation, somebody needs a cell phone, it ought to be where you can deal with that rather than saying, nope, the rule is no cell phone, so it's
Yep.
out. Make some common sense decisions when somebody's in a situation that really does require it.
Mark,
For one day. I don't mean forever.
I understand. I understand. And like I said,
Somebody want to see you because their kid didn't get to have a phone.
right. Okay. I wanted to say too, I saw people once, it was a man and wife and two children, and they're all on their phone. I wonder if they ever talk to each other again anymore.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
I've seen some sad
that's-
scenes where it's not that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, having grown up where you sat at the supper table and all that, you didn't, come and go. You had meals together. To me, it's amazing how bad it has gotten.
We need to get
But
back to
my
that.
kids grew up with no contact with any people, no close contact. They grew up with all machines.
Sure. Right.
So anyway, I just wanted to let you know, I always listen. If I can, I download and watch it and listen to it.
Mark, I want you to know I appreciate the videos you send on TikTok. We just get the biggest kick out of them. Do you know what TikTok is, Mark?
I don't send anything to it. I've heard of it.
OnlyFans.
Don't
too.
feel bad. I'm in the tech business and I ain't on TikTok either.
I think,
so-
Mark, you might have accidentally hit some keys you shouldn't have, okay?
I do a little bit of Facebook for my bit. Well, actually, I got on it for my business. I do more personal than I should. But
Right.
anyway,
Okay.
all I know about TikTok is don't get your tax advice from there. It's
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you so much.
yes, sir. You too.
All right.
Good night.
I'll be talking to you. Thank you, sir.
right,
Much
bye.
appreciated. And I want to say this. A friend of ours, Steve Cates, has been a bit under the weather.
He has, yeah.
He said COVID. Steve, I don't know. I don't think Steve listens to the show, but if he is, or some of you see him or talk to him in passing, wish him the best. I think he's over. I think he's on the other
He's
side of this
doing
thing
all
now.
right.
He's
Like
doing all right?
he's at Adams Rehab right now. He had a fall at
Okay.
the
All right.
house. He didn't break anything or anything like
Right.
that. But as you do when you go into a place like that, and we've been wrestling with that about the last 5 years of
Sure.
trying to keep him out of a communal setting, because when
Sure.
whether you're at the
Yeah.
hospital or rehab or nursing home, you're around a lot of people and a lot of specialists coming in and out. You can
A lot of people in and out. Yes.
you can catch things, and
Understand.
it's a worthy goal to try to keep him out of it. We didn't manage to do it this time, and he seems to be doing all right. I talked to him for about an hour this morning. He's doing good.
Now, I've got another good friend that's here, and he's around a lot of people all day. Isaac, how are you all holding up? Are you back in school? Everybody's back in school?
Yep. For the
Okay.
last few weeks now.
Now, this is your last year.
It is.
Do you have any class? Because my senior year was great. I didn't have, I think, one class, and I think it was a joke. I had all my credits in. No, I'm serious. I was a bright fella. And for that time of the century. It was back in the last century. They weren't too strict back then.
In the 1900s.
Hush.
We were there too.
We were right there with you.
No, but seriously, do you have a full load, so to speak, or are you ready for college, or what are you going to do?
I've got a full load and I'm ready for college.
Tell them how many AP classes you're taking.
I've got 5 this semester and 7 total this year. So
That's insane,
7.
by the way. I don't know how he
7.
does it.
Okay.
So.
Now,
And he's working too. He's an umpire in Smyrna Baseball League and other places.
okay. So not only that, have you had this animosity toward your father long, or is this something you're doing just out of spite, or how are you doing? I mean, man, kid, I think we better have a talk, Have you ever considered getting into gambling or running numbers? That's a good. No, seriously. What do you want to do in the future? Seriously, we've got 20 seconds.
Tell the truth.
Well, I'm gonna go to school. I'm probably gonna get a finance degree.
Okay.
Maybe a little minor in political science if it works. I'm taking a few college government classes, so we could potentially-
Economics, things of that nature, how things actually work.
Yep. And
He has a great background in a political action committee.
I've got a good friend. We're over on time, but I'm going to say this. A good friend said we're not going to get together until mankind comes together. And I think maybe right on that.
Yeah, we might be right.
Yeah, until mankind gets it together, we may be correct. And I'm going to tell you amazing thing about economics, and I wonder if one of the leaders of one of the nations in the world knows this. The oil platforms that are out in the middle of the ocean. I don't know if you know that. The platform is made in South Korea. That's the top of and the bottom of the rig is made in Russia. Or vice versa, whichever that is. Now you go figure that out.
This sounds like a setup to a joke.
And when it's not a joke. No, it's not.
Rabbi
No, you can
and a
see it on
priest walk
YouTube.
into
No,
a
Yes,
no. I'm not kidding you. No.
What's
No,
the
we
Russian do?
No,
What's the
no,
Russian
I'm
do?
not kidding you. No, and if you go aboard the deck of this particular one, you must speak English. But there are a total of 7 different languages spoken on this platform.
Yeah.
And not
pretty much
only
all
are they
run.
drilling for oil, there's gases and things that they drill. There's many different minerals.
Cruise ship works the same way.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
everybody's
being
all around the
smart
world.
and being well-rounded and worldly
Sound like
is
a
the
pretty good
way
deal.
to go as our youth should, like Isaac is.
Isaac, tell us about it. You get the last word.
well, I was actually just gonna say something. So, on your note about economics,
Yes.
I have a proposition.
Okay.
The state mandates an economics course for all high school students.
Okay.
Given the current policies of the president and the way certain people support it, I think maybe it would be wise to maybe remove that requirement and instead put a requirement of a tech literacy class. Teaches when and how it's appropriate to use cell phones and how it's appropriate to use things such as AI.
Now, right here, as Ronald Reagan would say, is a good example of where we have failed in our public schools. Let's move on. That's how they don't want to. That's when a politician doesn't want to answer your question, okay?
Yeah.
Or reply to your statement.
Yeah.
Good statement. Good idea.
Great idea.
Not bad. Great
We
idea.
need it.
There's hope for America yet, folks. Stay with us, Isaac. Welcome. I'm glad you came up, son. It's good to see you again. Man, this kid's grown up. Andy, Jill, thanks to both y'all. Connor, thank you. Ed Raymer, we went over. I'm tired. I'm leading the board. It says big timer. Okay, whatever. And I'm over on time. Thank you all. Good night.